So now let's discuss the lesson 2, the Republic Act number 4670 or Magna Carta for public school teachers. What is Republic Act number 4670? The Republic Act number 4670 is also known the Magna Carta for public school teachers. So it's a law in the Philippines that aims to improve the social and economic status of public school teachers. It outlines policies related to recruitment, qualification, tenure, salaries, and benefits for teachers, with the goal of attracting and retaining qualified individuals in the teaching profession. So, the Magna Carta, it ensures that all teachers are treated fairly with dignity and respect, and also give the support they need to be more effective educators. Now let's discuss the section of Republic Act number 4670 is Section 1 Declaration of Policy. It is hereby declared to be the policy of this act to promote and improve the social and economic status of public school teachers, their living and work conditions, their employment and career prospects in order that they may compare favorably with existing opportunities in other walks of life. So, sa sa batas na ito is nais nila na mas gumanda ang buhay at trabaho ng mga guro para hindi sila mahuli sa mga benepisyo at oportunidad na meron sa ibang propesyon. Let's proceed to Section 2, the title definition. This act should be known as the Magna Carta for public school teachers and should apply to all public school teachers except those in the professorial staff of state, college, and university. So, ang Magna Carta is pwede lamang siya ma-apply sa lahat ng public school teachers. So, dili siya pwede para sa mga college and universities. Now let's proceed to number 2, recruitment and career. Section 3, recruitment and qualification. So, recruitment policy with respect to the selection and appointment of teachers should be clearly defined by the Department of Education, provided, however, that effective upon the approval of this act, the following should constitute the minimum educational qualification for teachers applicants. So, is ang DepEd ang magtakda ng mga malinaw na paraan kung paano pipiliin at tatanggapin ang mga guro at kailangan may tiyak na pinag-aralan, kwalifikasyon ang mga gustong mag-apply bilang guro. Let's proceed to Section 4, Probationary Period. When recruitment takes place after adequate training and professional preparation in any school recognized by the government, no probationary period preceding regular appointment shall be imposed if the teacher possesses the appropriate civil service eligibility. So, is kung qualified na ang isa ka teacher or nagpasa na siya sa civil service exam, pwede na siya maging regular teacher na dili na siya need pa kanang murag i-test. Proceed to Section 5, Tenure of Office. Stability of employment and security of tenure should be assured the teacher as provided under existing law. So, ang mga guro ay siguradong may trabaho once na ginawa nila ng maayos ang kanilang mga tungkulin at hindi sila maaaring tanggalin sa kanilang trabaho ng walang sapat na dahilan. Proceed to Section 6, the consent for transportation expenses. Except for costs and as herein otherwise provided, no teacher should be transferred without his consent from one station to another. So, is dili daw pwede magbali ng isa ka teacher sa laing school once na dili mananghid sa kataas-taasan. Except na lang kung naadjud siya like matibay jud na reason why magbalhin siya. And also, if magbalhin man ang isa ka teacher is provided or sagot ng school ang kanilang transportation fees. Read to Section 7, Code of Professional Conduct for Teachers. So, within 6 months from the approval of this act, the Secretary of Education should formulate and prepare a code of professional conduct for public school teachers. So, diriya is dapat magkaroon ng malinaw na gabay kung paano dapat kumilos at umasta ang mga guro bilang professional at ito ay dapat gawin lamang sa loob ng 6 na buwan mula nang mailabas ito. Let's proceed to Section 8, Safeguards in Disciplinary Procedure. Every teacher should enjoy equitable safeguards at each stage of disciplinary procedure. So, diriya is kung may kaso o reklamo laban sa isang guro, dapat siguraduhin na patas ang proseso at may pagkakataon silang ipagtanggol ang kanilang sarili. Section 9, Administrative Charges. Administrative charges against the teacher should be initially by a committee composed of the corresponding school superintendent of the division or a duly authorized representative who should at least have the rank of a division supervisor where the teachers belong as chairman, a representative of the local or its balance, and any existing provincial or national teachers organization and supervisors of the division. The last two be designated by the Director of Public Schools. So, diriya is, sa Section 9 is, kung may kaso na isasampa sa isang guro, dapat ang unang mag-imbestiga nito ay ang official ng DepEd na may mataas na position, tulad ng school superintendent or division supervisor. To Section 10, No Discrimination. There shall be no discrimination whatsoever in entrance of the teaching profession or during its exercise or in the termination of services based on any ground other than professional consideration. So sa Section 10 is, hindi pwedeng hadlangan o tanggalin ang isang guro dahil sa hindi professional na dahilan, tulad ng kasarian, religion o lahi nila. Dapat tanging ang kanilang kakayahan bilang guro ang pagbantayan. Proceed to Section 11, Married Teachers. Whenever possible, the proper authorities should take all steps to enable married couples, both of whom are public school teachers, to be employed in the same locality. So, diriya, ang gobyerno dapat ang magsikap para matabangan ang mag-asawa na mabalhin sila sa parehong eskwelahan. Section 12, Academic Freedom. Teachers shall enjoy academic freedom in discharge of their professional duties, particularly in regard to teaching and classroom methods. So, diri as academic freedom is naikalayaan ang mga teachers na magbuhat og other ways kung paunsa nila matudloan ang ilang mga estudyante o pwede sila mogamit og mga paraan na sa tingin nila is makatabang sa ilahang mga estudyante. Number 3, Hours of Work and Remuneration. Section 13, Teaching Hours. Any teacher engaged in actual classroom instruction should not be required to render more than 6 hours of actual classroom teaching a day. The preparation and correction of exercises and other work incidental to his normal teaching duties. So, diriya is dili pwede malampas ang isa ka teacher sa 6 hours na dapat na iyang itudlo lang. Kauban na dito ang iyang mga preparation para sa iyang klase. Let's proceed to Section 14, Additional Compensation. notwithstanding any provisions of existing law to the contrary, co-curricular and out-of-school activities and any other activities outside of what is defined as normal duties of any teacher should be paid an additional compensation for at least 25% of his regular remuneration after the teacher has completed at least 6 hours of actual classroom teaching a day. So, diri sa Section 14, kung ang guro ay magsasagawa ng mga aktibidad sa labas ng school tulad ng mga extracurricular na gawain, dapat siya bigyan ng dagdag na bayad na 25% ng kanyang regular na sahod. Basta tapos na ang kaniyang pagtuturo sa 6 na oras. Now, let's proceed to Section 15, Criteria for Salaries. Teachers' salaries should correspond to the following criteria. So, let's start. A. They should be compared favorably with those paid in other occupations requiring equivalent or similar qualification, training, and abilities. B. They should be such as to ensure teachers a reasonable standards of life for themselves and their families. And C. They should be properly graded so as to recognize the fact that certain positions require higher qualification and greater responsibility than others. So, dito sa Section 15 is, ang sahod ng guro ay dapat katulad ng ibang trabaho na may kaparehong kinakailangang kwalifikasyon o pagsasanay at sapat para sa kanilang pamilya at naaayon sa hirap at antas ng trabaho o posisyon nila. Section 16, Salary Scale. Salary scale of teachers should provide a gradual progression from minimum to maximum salary by means of regular increments granted automatically after 3 years. So, ang sahod ng isang guro ay tataas ng dahan-dahan mula sa pinakamababa hanggang sa pinakamataas. At ang bawat guro ay makakakuha ng dagdag na sahod tuwing 3 taon ng kanilang serbisyo. To Section 17, Equality and Salary Scales. The salary of teachers whose salaries are appropriated by a city, municipal district, or provincial government should not be less than those provided for teachers of national government. So, sa Section 17 is, ang mga guro na pinapasweldo ng lokal na pamahalaan ay hindi dapat kumita ng mas mababa kaysa sa mga guro na pinapasweldo ng pambansang gobyerno. Section 18, Cost of Living Allowance. Teachers' salaries should at the very least keep pace with the rise in the cost of living by payment of a cost of living index. The Secretary of Education should recommend to Congress at least annually the appropriation of the necessary funds for the cost of living allowances of teachers employed by the national government. So sa Section 18 is, ang sahod ng guro ay dapat sumabay sa pagtaas ng mga bilihin at ang gobyerno ay kailangang maglaan ng pondo para dito taon-taon. To Section 19, Special Hardship Allowance. In areas in which teachers are exposed to hardship such as difficulty in commuting to the place of work or other hazards peculiar to the place of employment as determined by the Secretary of Education, they should be compensated by special hardship allowances equivalent to at least 25% of their monthly salary. So, sa Section 19, kung ang guro nagtatrabaho sa mga lugar na mahirap puntahan o may panganib, bibigyan sila ng dagdag na allowance na katumbas ng 25% ng kanilang sahod. To Section 20, Salaries to be paid in legal tender. Salaries of teachers should be paid in legal tender of the Philippine or equivalent and checks or treasury warrants. So, dapat daw ang mga sahod ng teacher is ginahatag jud siya na like in cash or gamit ang cheque. Let's proceed to Section 21, Deduction of Prohibited. No person should make any deduction whatsoever from the salaries of teachers except under specific authority of law authorizing such deductions, provided, however, that upon written authority executed by the teacher concerned, one, lawful dues and fees owing to the Philippine Public School Teachers Association, and two, premiums properly due on insurance policies should be considered deductible. So, diriya sa Section 21, hindi pwede na basta-basta bawasan ang sahod ng guro maliban kung ito ay ayon sa batas o pahintulot mula sa guro para sa mga legal na bayarin o insurance.